Namaste Sannyasa family and everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you in this daily live meditation session with me, Dhyanse. We're meditating on 112 meditation technique of Vigyan, Bhairav, Tantra. Once a king, a collector of special things, he had everything in his collection. He called in a contest. Whosoever can give him something that is very special would get all the rewards. Lots of people came, proposed different things. The king had all of it. It took all months for someone to come up with something so unique that the king did not have. Then one day a man appeared. He said, "O king, you have everything in your kingdom, but the clothes that you're wearing, they seem to be made by human beings. And you deserve to have the clothes of the divine. You're such a great king, your kingdom is so vast. You deserve to have the clothes of the divine." This appealed the king very much. He immediately got caught up with the idea. A desire arose. Yes, what am I wearing? All these jewels, all these clothes made by human beings? I must wear the clothes of the divine. He was immediately caught up in the idea. He said, "Yes, okay, make those clothes of divine, get me those clothes of divine and take whatever you want to take." The man said, "Fine, I will get you the clothes of the divine. It will cost you a fortune. You're already ready for that. But there are a few more conditions. First, I will take as long as I want. I cannot promise you when. No one will follow me where I go to get those clothes of divine. I will take whatever fortune is required to pay for those clothes of divine. And once I get you the clothes of divine, you're going to wear them wherever you're going to go out in public. You will never wear any other clothes than these clothes of divine whenever you go out in public." The king said, "Fine, if these are clothes of the divine, I'm more than happy to wear them forever for the rest of my life whenever I go, wherever I go." The man took lots of fortune, lots of jewels, lots of gold, all from the king. He left. Few weeks later, he came back again, asked for more money, more jewels, more gold, more of the wealth of the king, and left once again. And this happened week over week, months over months, where he just came to collect all the money and left and disappeared somewhere. And the king had promised not to follow. Nobody should follow him, otherwise he will not get the clothes of the divine. So nobody followed him. He had a bit of a worry what was happening, but there was enough in his kingdom. By and by, months and months passed by. Half of his kingdom was empty, and when he was getting worried what was happening, the man appeared with a box completely sealed, looked like the box coming straight from the divine. He presented that box to the king, where everyone in the courtroom was also present, was also there. He said to the king, "I have got you the clothes of the divine. Now from this box you will take the clothes out of the divine, these divine clothes out of the box, wear them one by one. But there's one more condition before I hand over these clothes of the divine to you, that these clothes are so special. For those who are worshipping the devil can never see these clothes. So you have to be very, very pure. And if you ever had a thought of the devil, if you ever worship the devil, you will never see the clothes, and you must destroy that person, because these clothes are so special. You must protect these clothes. Only those who are pure, who are never worshipping the devil, they should see these clothes. The king said, that's fine. In my kingdom, nobody worships the devil. So let's wear these clothes. Let's open the box. The box was open. This person, he made a gesture as if he's pulling out a shirt from the box. The hands were empty, but he handed over to the king. He said, King, now take off all your clothes and wear this shirt. This shirt of the divine, this garment of the divine. The king, he immediately was shocked. He hesitated. He saw that there were no clothes in the hands, but a doubt arose in him. Maybe I have done some sin in my life. Maybe I am not able to see these divine clothes, so I should just follow what this man is saying. So he took his clothes off. He wore that invisible shirt, this clothes of the divine. Then the man said, the king, can you please take your trousers off and wear this trousers of the divine? And by, the king was completely naked, wearing these invisible clothes of the divine. The whole court was watching, but nobody could say a word. Nobody could say anything, because everyone was in fear that if we would say something, that would mean that we are worshipping the divine. So everyone kept quiet and started applauding that their king is wearing the clothes of the divine. Listening to the applause, the king also thought that yes, I'm wearing the clothes of the divine, and how proud I should be that I'm wearing the clothes of the divine. Then the man said, so now it is time to fulfill the promise. Since you're wearing the clothes of the divine, you must go out in your kingdom and show these clothes of the divine to everyone. And thereby the king went on to this parade with this invisible clothes, all naked, throughout the kingdom. And nobody in the kingdom could ever say anything, because everyone was afraid to say that they were worshipping the devil. No. They had to see these invisible clothes of the divine. They had to all applaud to these invisible clothes to the divine. And by, as the king kept on marching this parade, day in, day out, with these invisible clothes of the divine, he started to believe that yes, he's wearing the invisible clothes of the divine. Everyone started to believe that the king is wearing the invisible clothes of the divine. Nobody ever questioned this anymore. Except one day, a kid, when he looked at one of these parades, he looked at the king. He said, what is this? The king is naked. His father, who was standing next to him, he said, shut up. You cannot see the invisible clothes. When you grow up, you will see those invisible clothes of the divine as well. That's how we all grow up. We all see the invisible clothes of the divine everywhere. We start with the truth. The beginning of this life is with the truth. In our innocence, in the innocence of our childishness, we see the truth. But as we grow old, somehow, as we grow up, we start to see these invisible clothes of the divine. And lies over lies over lies keep on piling up in our mind, and all what is left is all the lies, all these invisible clothes of the divine, and we never even see the truth. We forget the truth. We have come so far away from the truth that to go back to the truth, to go back to the source, to see through the invisible clothes of the divine, we need a way back home. We need a way back to the truth. That way back is meditation. That way back is the silence, is the stillness of the meditation. Until the mind keeps on showing you all these invisible clothes of the divine, all the lies that it keeps on projecting in front of your eyes, you will only see these clothes. You will never see the truth. in order to see the truth, the mind has to completely come to a stillness. An inner stillness, an inner silence has to arise in you where there is no thought, where your entire inner space is at a standstill, is at a state where the dust has completely settled and only the silence remains. In that silent awareness, you see the truth once again. You come to the truth once again. You see you are the source of everything in your life. Everything that you experience in life, the source is within. You are the source of everything. That is the truth that you see when the dust of your mind settles. All these techniques, all these sessions that we are going through in Vigyan Bhairav Tantra are a way, are a doorway to show you, to create a situation in your life where you start to see the truth, where the dust of your mind settles in some or the other way and you start to see the truth. Let us listen to what Bhairava has to present to us as a technique in Vigyan Bhairav Tantra for today, and use the technique to create that silence, to create that stillness where the dust of the mind settles and you see through the invisible clothes of the divine. Bhairava says, when great joy arises at the time of seeing a friend or any such event, let your mind be fully absorbed in the joy. Let me repeat. When great joy arises at the time of seeing a friend or any such event, let your mind be fully absorbed in the joy. Here, the doorway to enter into silence is joy, is that sense of joy which arises when you meet someone, when you meet a friend, or any other situation which creates the joy in you, which reminds you of the joy that you have within yourself. Like this space that we every day create for ourselves, in this space when we come together, in that moment when we come together, that joy that arises in us, of sharing that space, of coming together, of meeting a friend, of meeting someone that we know, that we share a connection with, the joy that arises in you. When that joy arises in you, let your mind be absorbed in that joy. That is the technique, that your mind which has forgotten this joy, the mind which is forgotten that the joy is within, when it realizes that the joy is arising out because of any trigger, the trigger could be a friend, the trigger could be this ensemble that we have here. When the joy arises, allow your mind to tune into that joy, be absorbed in that joy, and enter the meditative silence. All the thoughts, all what is going on in your mind, let that be absorbed in the joy of seeing a friend, of seeing someone you have connection with. It's a very simple technique. All that you have to do here in this session is to remember, is to tune in, is to connect to the joy that arises within you the moment you sit in this session with others who are also in connection in this space together, sharing the silence, sharing the awareness. If you come in tune with the joy, your mind will naturally find its own place. The dust of your mind will settle, and the stillness that arises in you, enter into that stillness, enter into that silence, and see through the invisible clothes of the divine and be in the truth. Let us close our eyes and share these moments of silence where the mind is absorbed in the joy of seeing, of connecting in this space with everyone else. Please take a posture that is comfortable for you. with your body relaxed. With every breath, finding its balance, finding a restful posture. Your breath flowing naturally without trying to change or hold your breath, allowing the breath to find its natural pace. Your awareness to turn inwards. Take this moment to realize your connection with everyone sharing this space of silence. In this moment, and notice the joy that arises within as you realize your connection, sharing these moments with everyone else. And your thought, your awareness, your energies on that joy that arises in this connection with everyone else. your thought, your energies, absorbed in this joy. Your inner space, fully tuned in to the joy of this connection with everyone else. And in that joy, allowing the mind to settle. Your inner space filled with a sense of joy, and your mind absorbed in this joy. As your mind settles, a sense of silence arises. Leave all effort, all visualization, and simply be in this silence with awareness. Let yourself completely go in this silence and awareness. Maintaining this stillness, centeredness, silence. Taking this moment to acknowledge the connection that we all share. The joy that arises in that connection. And very gently and slowly you may open your eyes. Taking this stillness, this clarity, this sense of silence and awareness to your daily life. If you wish to maintain sharing this space with other meditators, a space of truth, of love, of authenticity, of connection in your daily life, you're more than welcome to join our community of meditators. If you feel touched by that, please write me an email with your introduction, with your calling for the community, and what would you like to give back to the community. Thank you very much. Namaste.